friends, Kaylin here, and today I'd like to share a story with you that really illustrates my aha moment for the understanding of the impact that our environment and the influences around us really have on shaping our life. So it was a blistering hot summer day in Quartzo, California, and my brother and I were out riding our bikes, and we realized 5:30 had came around and it was time to get home. We parked our bikes, washed our hands, and sat down at the dinner table and realized that Mom and Dad had something in store for us, that night at dinner we were going to find out we were moving to Arlington, Texas. The shock and awe, of course, was profound. We were leaving everything we knew. We got there and made some lifelong friends, many of which are still in our lives today. We moved back to California 2 years later, and when we got home, our friends and family were in shock and awe with the fix-and-tos and y'alls, and many of our friends made interesting comments about our style and the clothes and the hemp beaded necklaces and all these things that we had picked up from the environment we were in Texas. And often is true with your workplace and the people you're around and the mentors and peers in your life. What they talk about, what they believe in, and what they wear often influences your results and the way you feel and think about yourself. When you look at who you spend the majority of your time with in your life, who's the number one person you spend time with? And the reality is, it's you. For me, it's me. For you, it's you. And if we think about it like an iceberg, right, and the foundational level, the lowest level of this iceberg, is all of our thoughts and self-talk. Good or bad, our self-talk and our thoughts generate the feelings that we have for ourselves in our life. Those feelings, whether they're of power and confidence or of concern and doubt, are all generated from our thoughts. So thoughts create our feelings will create our actions. Our actions, or the lack thereof, are all driven by those thoughts. So this is all below the waterline on the iceberg. So you have your thoughts, your feelings, your actions. Right above the water, just 10% of who we are as a whole iceberg reflects our results or our outcomes. Whether they're good or bad is all generated from the biggest piece of the iceberg, which is our thoughts and self-talk. So I'd like to share 3 things that you can do to improve your self-talk or your thought life before you go out and tackle the day. See, the most important environment that we have is the one between our ears. The most important person and influencer in our lives is the small conversations we have with ourselves throughout the day. So the first thing that you can do, now if this all sounds like running a marathon, start with a quarter mile. The first thing that you should do is wake up in the morning, and before you turn on the negative news or the radio, is spend 30 minutes reading a book that has something to do with success or motivation or sales or leadership or personal empowerment. Take that time to purify your mind, right? Zig Ziglar says that motivation is a lot like bathing. You've got to do it daily. Well, preparing your mind for the battle and the tasks ahead of you that day and the influences and the environment that you're going to walk into, you have to prepare yourself to deal with those things. You either prepare or you repair. So get ready in the morning. After reading for 30 minutes. Now again, if that sounds like a marathon, maybe do it for 5 minutes. The next thing that you need to do is take your planner, and at the very first line in your planner for that day, write several affirmations about yourself. I like myself. I am confident. I am successful. I am patient. I was born to win. Write those down. And if it sounds like a marathon, to do a bunch of those, just write one powerful phrase that you can reference all throughout the day when you think that your best friend, your inner self, is not in line with what you want out of the top of your iceberg, your results. The third thing is, after you have read and after you've written these affirmations, there's 3 powerful words that you should say 50 times when you start your day. And that's do it now, do it now, do it now. And if that sounds like a marathon to do that 50 times, that's okay. Just do it 4 or 5. So start with your reading. It might only be 5 minutes. Start with an affirmation and put it in your to-do list. I like myself. So all throughout the day that you see that. And then in the end, say, do it now, 5, 10, and get to 50. See, as you get stronger in doing this, as you work up on these habits and you're able to run this marathon, you'll start outpacing and winning the race that other people are trying to win. So you can move from just doing your 30 minutes in the morning to doing 10 minutes at lunch, 10 minutes before you go home. Imagine the profound effect it would have on your home life if before you went home, you reviewed your affirmations and you said, do it now, do it now. So when you got home, you engaged your family. At the end of the night, you read again for 30 minutes. Now, don't try to go run a marathon a day because it will be painful. So break this down into something that seems reasonable and fair for you to do. But do it now. Do it now. And see the impact that this can have on your thought life.